You don't bend a room by being the loudest or listing your achievements like a street vendor. You bend a room when the room quietly bends to you, when sentences shorten, postures correct themselves, and decisions line up without you needing to campaign for them. What changes isn't the furniture, it's the emotional gravity. Status is not a title, it's a field. Most men try to inflate that field with noise. It leaks. The few who understand status as a set of triggers, subtle levers that move nervous systems automatically, gain an advantage so clean it looks like magic. It isn't magic, it's engineering. You were taught that status comes from accumulation. More credentials, more followers, more volume. Wrong order. The crowd smells the reach. True status begins when you remove behaviors that advertise hunger and replace them with mechanics that advertise inevitability. You're not here to be adored. You're here to become the person rooms calibrate around without asking you why. The method is simple and merciless. Identify the 5 triggers that govern human perception in groups. Install them in your body and calendar, and let the room reteach itself how to act near you. No more lectures, no more threats, no more monologues about respect. 5 triggers, done correctly, will do what speeches never did. Here they are. 1. Silence and scarcity. The absence that raises your price. 2. Geometry and gaze. The posture that reads as command. 3. Cadence and clocks. The rhythm that turns you into infrastructure. 4. Evidence and options. The table that retires arguments. 5. Exit and consequence. The clean off-ramp that makes your presence safe and your boundaries real. Master these, and rooms bend. Not because you forced them, but because you lowered the cost of discipline and raised the cost of chaos. This is status as physics. 1. Silence and scarcity. The absence that raises your price. Status begins with what you withhold. The animal brain prices value with scarcity. You know this in markets. You ignore it in behavior. You flood the room with availability, prefaces, explanations, and instant replies. And then you wonder why your words travel light. The room is not cruel, it is efficient. It cannot treat what's abundant as rare. Silence is not muteness. It's the choice not to purchase permission with sound. You speak after you've decided, not while you're drafting your courage. You count 5 heartbeats before you answer any provocation. In those 5 beats, 2 things happen. Your prefrontal cortex reboots, and the other person's story about you starts to write itself. They lean forward. They self-edit. They reveal. Silence is a mirror. People fear their reflection more than your lecture. Scarcity is not aloofness. It's scheduling. You publish reply windows, for example 11, 12, and 16, 17, and obey them. You ship once a week at the same hour. You make decisions on the same day. Outside those windows, you are not a vending machine. The room learns quickly that if something matters, it must be prepared before your window, not screamed into it. Your inbox cools. Your voice thickens. Your presence begins to mean something because it is no longer everywhere. Do this tonight. Turn off every notification you won't leave a room for. 2 humans get bypass. Everything else waits for windows. Write a sticky note. 5 beats. Tape it where your eyes land when adrenaline spikes. Draft and schedule a status message. Reply windows, 11, 12, and 16 to 17. Decisions, Thursday. Weekly ship, through 17 hour. How rooms bend. The moment your availability becomes rhythmic instead of reflexive, people stop improvising with your time. They compress their thoughts. They send you tables instead of feelings. Your silence starts costing them something, so they prepare. That preparation is respect in motion. Common mistake: confusing silence with punishment. Silence weaponized becomes pettiness. Silence practiced becomes pressure relief. You're not freezing people out, you're refusing to subsidize theater. You're 2. Geometry and gaze, the posture that reads as command. Before you speak, you're a silhouette and a few vectors. The room prices you in milliseconds by your geometry, how you sit, stand, angle, and your gaze, where your eyes land and how they stay. Geometry is balance. Sit with your back anchored but not fused to the chair, one hand width of air behind your spine. Feet under knees, not splayed to the side. Shoulders down, chin level. If standing, heel, hip, shoulder, ear, align. Lean neither toward pleading nor away and retreat. Your body says, I don't need your mood to stay upright. Rooms respect self-carriage because it lowers their fear. Nobody wants to follow a wobble. Gaze bokriu is attention without hunger. Look at the bridge of the nose or the triangle between the eyes and brow. Hold contact a shade longer than comfortable when you disagree. Break contact a shade early when you agree. Nod only when you actually agree, not as a lubricant. Laugh when something is funny, not when you're nervous. These tiny edits amputate the biggest status leak, signaling friendliness as a plea for safety. Do this tomorrow. Arrive 5 minutes early and choose a seat with your back to a wall in view of the door. Anchor once, not often. When voices rise, do not lean in. Let the heat travel to you and stop. Keep hands still, one on the table, one on your leg. Practice the period voice. Finish your sentence with a downward tone. Endings, not question marks, bend rooms. How rooms bend. People subconsciously match the heaviest posture in the room. Your steadiness becomes the metronome. Interruptions drop. Filler words decay. The talker deflates. The observer starts to contribute. You didn't say, be respectful. You became geometry that could not be pushed. Common mistake. Playing statue. Status isn't stiffness. It's responsiveness without flinch. Warm eyes, clean edges. Ifriwur 3. Cadence and clocks. The rhythm that turns you into infrastructure charisma is sugar. Cadence is bread. Rooms value what they can plan around. When your actions arrive like trains, not surprises, they rewire themselves to your clocks. That is status at the systems level. You become infrastructure. Cadence means 3 published rhythms: reply windows, decision day, ship day. You are boringly on time with them. I reply 11, 12, and 16, 17. We decide Thursday. We ship Thursday 17, cow. Boring is the shape of trust. Clocks. Turn moods into math. You price rush, 1.5x or scope trade, pause work at 72 hours late, and freeze scope during delivery. You don't moralize, you calendarize. Urgency without an external clock is theater. That line, delivered flatly, saves more cortisol than a week of meditation apps. Do this week. Create a 1-page operating page. Cadence, scope, rush, consequence, definition of done. Pin it. Replace one weekly meeting with a decision memo, problem options, ABC, with costs, risks, recommendation, checkbox, deadline. Announce nothing else, just follow the clocks. Enforce once, without heat. How rooms bend. People stop pinging at midnight. They bring you options instead of open loops. They argue less because the deadline eats their appetite for debate. Your absence stops feeling like danger and starts feeling like a rule the room can trust. You become the person around whom others synchronize. Common mistake. Breaking your own cadence for applause. The moment you answer outside windows to look dedicated, you convert your standards into theater props. The room sees it. Status evaporates. Year 4. Evidence and options. The table that retires. Arguments status suffers when you prove yourself with volume. Replace persuasion with presentation. Adults love choices with prices. They resent speeches. Bring evidence and options. Retire fights. Evidence is receipts. A 1-pager SOP, before-after metrics, acceptance criteria, the decision captured last Thursday. Paper lowers the temperature because paper shares the burden. You don't carry the whole moment with your throat. Options. Turn fog into decisions. Always present 2 or 3 paths you can live with. A cheap, fragile, B balanced, C robust, expensive, with costs, risks, and 1 recommendation. Then stop. Silence will do the rest. The room will argue with reality instead of your personality. One-clause truths are your scalpels. Urgency without an external clock is theater. We don't discuss scope during delivery. Done means acceptance criteria met in writing. If we want speed, we reduce scope. Deliver them flat. They are equations, not opinions. Do this by Thursday. For your biggest open item, write a decision memo with ABC and a checkbox. Send it. Pin the deadline. For your recurring conflict, print a single rule that would have prevented it. Add it to the operating page. In your next heated moment, say one clause and count 5 beats. Let the numbers carry weight. How rooms bend. The loudest person loses oxygen. The quietest, competent person speaks up because proof made it safe. Meetings shorten. I feel like mutates into option A has X risk. You stop being the protagonist of every scene and become the table everybody uses. Status moves from your chest into the furniture. Common mistake: presenting options you secretly won't accept. That's a trap. Only offer choices you can truly live with. Hidden vetoes erode trust faster than open refusals. Yarcher 5. Exit and consequence. The clean off-ramp that makes you safe here is the paradox. You command a room not just by staying, but by being able to leave without breaking it. Your willingness to exit cleanly, documented, calm, handoff attached, does 2 things. It deters hostage-taking and makes your presence feel safe. People respect what doesn't cling. Consequence is not revenge, it's repricing. You write a 3-step ladder once and climb it when needed. Reminder: fee pause, termination, no heat, just sequence. Exit is a pre-written paragraph in a package. We end Friday. Handoff attached, passwords, SOPs, status, next best step. Grateful for what we built. Send it. Leave. No jury addressed. No righteousness sprayed. That quiet is a bell. It rings in future rooms. Do this within 7 days. Draft your 3-step ladder for late pay, scope creep, and missed reviews. Print it. Prepare a generic handoff template, checklist, links, credentials, status. Save it. Identify one low-yield arrangement. Offer a neat exit with a gift. Walk. How rooms bend. The manipulators lose their favorite lever, your fear of leaving. The competent relax. They know you won't torch the building. Negotiations become adult because outcomes, not moods, govern terms. Your boundaries stop being opinions and start being roads with signs. Status is the quiet that follows. Common mistake: announcing consequences instead of enacting them. Enforcement is a verb. Do it once. The room will narrate it for you. Installing the triggers. Field manual. A trigger is only as good as your body can carry under pressure. You'll practice like a musician, not preach like a motivational speaker. Night 1. Silence and scarcity. Delete non-essential notifications. 2 exceptions on bypass. Write 5 beats and no campaigning on a card. Pocket it. Schedule your status message with Windows, decision day, ship hour. Day 1. Geometry and gaze. Anchor seat, back to wall. Still hands, period voice. If tempted to explain, write the unsent paragraph. Delete it. Send one sentence that moves reality. Day 2. Cadence and clocks. Publish your operating page. Pin it. Replace a standing meeting with a decision memo. Add rush pricing and a 72-hour pause rule. Day 3. Evidence and options. For the hottest issue, write ABC with costs. Recommend B. Print one SOP that would prevent a recurring problem. Share it once, then link it forever. Day 4. Exit and consequence. Draft your consequence ladder. Prepare the off-ramp package. End one low-yield obligation with a clean handoff. Day 5. Rehearsal. In front of a mirror. 10 clean no's, no apology. 5 one-clause truths, flat tone. 5 beat pauses mid-sentence while maintaining eye contact. Day 6. Absence practice. 3 dark hours, no access, deep work, proof ships at 17 SARC. If anxiety insists on posting your productivity, take a walk. Don't post. Let the work talk. Day 7. Audit and adjust. List 2 slips, answered outside window, over-explained, broke scope. Write the rule that prevents each slip. Add to operating page. Celebrate privately, no campaigning. Repeat the week until your muscles remember before your mind. What you'll notice. When status shifts: 1. People pre-edit before meeting you. Their emails shrink. Their attachments grow. 2. The chronic interrupter glances at you and self-corrects. Your stillness makes him hear his own volume. 3. Emergencies lose their teeth. When asked for the external clock, many vanish. 4. Gratitude arrives in a new form. It's easy to work with you. Easy is the highest compliment competent people give. 5. Gossip avoids you, not out of fear, out of futility. You don't feed it. Rooms save you for decisions, not drama. 6. The person who liked you for your leaks will accuse you of being cold. Let the accusation blow past. Your rules are not a referendum on their appetite. And the psychology backing each trigger so you don't doubt it mid-fire. Silence and scarcity. Exploit information asymmetry and costly signaling. The cost, waiting for your window, enduring a pause, makes your cues credible. Geometry and gaze. Leverage, dominant submission, postural circuits, and gaze contingent attention. Calm, squared posture and steady eyes down-regulate threat in observers. Cadence and clocks. Satisfy the brain's need for predictive coding. Predictable inputs reduce cortisol. People affiliate with what lowers energy expenditure. Evidence and options. Move disputes from the limbic system to the prefrontal cortex, shifting from status contests to instrumental problem solving. Exit and consequence. Use game theory. Cooperation stabilizes under clear penalties and credible exits. Your willingness to leave keeps deals honest. You don't need to recite the science. You need to trust the physics when your ego wants to perform. Turn on scripts you can use under adrenaline. Keep these in your mouth. Short survives stress. I reply 11:12 and 16:17. Decisions Thursday. Urgency without an external clock is theater. We don't discuss scope during delivery. Done means acceptance criteria met in writing. A or B, recommend B. Per policy, we're at step 2. We end Friday, handoff attached. Deliver flat, add nothing. The silence after is part of the sentence. Ishak are edge cases, and what bends them. The emotional gambler. They escalate volume to rent your nervous system. Trigger back. 5 beats. Options with costs. If they escalate again, end with a date and a checkbox. The flatterer. Praise as leash. Trigger back. Thank you. Here's how to work with me. Operating page. The chronic scope pusher. Always one more tiny thing. Trigger back. Routes to phase 2, or we trade X now. The ghost payer. Sweet words, slow money. Trigger back. Late fee at 72 hours. Pause at 72. The status peacocker. Needs to display dominance theatrically. Trigger back. Stillness. ABC with costs. The room will tire of feathers when math arrives. Do what not to do, even once. Don't apologize for a boundary. Apologize only for harm. Don't post your standards for applause. Publish them for coordination. Don't rescue adults from the silence that would grow them. Don't offer an option you can't live with. Don't violate your own clocks to show dedication. It shows hunger. Why this bends rooms, even if they don't like you. Status is a function of predictability, plus scarcity, plus consequence, plus proof. Your triggers increase all 4 without requiring anyone's affection. Some will be irritated. Irritation is not a metric. Alignment is. Watch what people do near you, not what they say about you. If their sentences shorten, if their emails contain options, if their emergencies shrink, if they wait for Thursday, your status is installed. If you slip, you will answer outside your window. You will explain when silence would have worked. You will forget a rung and try a sermon. Repair fast. Say, I broke my rule. Fix installed. Rule. Back to cadence. Then actually install the fix. On the page, in the calendar, in the clause. Rooms forgive when repairs are engineering, not theater. Just the minimal kit. Carry this in your head. 5 beats in heat. A, B, C. Recommend B. Thursday court. 11-12 and 16-17 windows. Urgency without a clock is theater. 3-step ladder. Clean handoff. If you remember nothing else, remember the line that stops you from selling your status for comfort. No. Here's how this works. Short enough to survive adrenaline. Heavy enough to bend the room without raising your voice. The 5 triggers do the rest, not as decorations, but as rails. The world chooses to ride because that ride costs less energy than the chaos it used to love. Install them once, enforce them once. Then let silence keep your crown polished while you do what status is actually for. Make better decisions at lower cost, for more people, more often, without losing yourself to applause.